Hi everyone, this is Shannon from theirishscrapper.com, and today I have a holiday card for you guys doing a double Z version. So this is the first double Z video that I have done, and I'm pretty addicted already. I knew I would be because I love fun folds. So I decided to use our Snow is Glistening photopolymer stamp set. This is the limited time Snowflake Showcase, one of the stamp sets from that. This is only available until November 30th. So if you've been thinking about that suite, be sure you do get your order in right away. This one I absolutely had to have. I love this tree. I love the sentiments, and then just these pieces here, these other images. So I decided to create today's card with that, and I'm hoping you can see that beautiful embossing. So here is my double Z. So that's why it's called a double Z. So this is a Z and this is a Z. And then I have embossed, hopefully you can see that, all of those back panels. And then these trees layer over each other. And then I've added some of our metallic pearls on there as well. So for today's tutorial, I have already pre-embossed and cut most of the pieces just to make it a little bit quicker for everybody, but we will emboss and stamp our back panel here on today's video. So let me start with some of the measurements. The card base that I'm using, that is shaded spruce, this is 4 1/4 by 11. And then I have scored it at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. And then you have another piece of spruce that is 1 1/2 by 11. And again, scored at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. Okay, so then you'll have an extra piece left from your one sheet of 8 1/2 by 11 if you want to use that, you know, for images or die cuts. I didn't do any die cuts on today's project, but you would have an extra piece left over. All right, and then I chose to use the Farmhouse Festive Designer Series paper. So I have one piece here that is 4 by 5 1/4, and then I have two pieces that are 2 1/2 by 4. And then we have a couple more pieces for the other Z. This is 1 by 5 1/4, and this is 1 by 2 1/2. And then we have our Whisper White layer for here. That is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then these two pieces, which I have pre-embossed with the copper, are 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, and then I have three more pieces. This one is 7/8 by 5 1/8, and then I have embossed these as well with the copper. And then you have two pieces that are 7/8 inch by 2 3/8. Okay, and so I will show you from the stamp set. So I used this image here to do the dots for my lower Z. And then for here, I used this image as well as the sentiment, and then I've used a couple of the snowflakes out of there. So let's go ahead. Let me pull all of these away for a moment. So I'm going to first score my card. You want to have a nice crease. And then we're going to bend this part back. Okay, so that gives you your one Z. And then now we're going to, I've flipped this around so you can see my 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. I'm going to turn it this way. And we are going to crease that, and then we're going to bend this piece back. Make sure, yes. So there is your other Z. So hopefully that makes sense. It's not too hard at all, and it's a fun card to do. So let's go ahead and adhere our pieces. So I am going to take my first sentiment piece. We'll add some adhesive. Now, I'm a little bit sad. I will tell you guys, I would love to have seen more of the DSP on this card, but because of the images and the sentiments that I chose, I really didn't have the option of taking it down to smaller measurements. So just keep that in mind. You know, you can figure that out as you decide which, you know, stamp set you're going to use, because I love the paper and I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, but it is very beautiful in person. It's probably harder to see on video, but you can see the DSP, you know, behind the white layers for sure. I could have used vanilla here too, since there is vanilla in the paper, but I thought, you know, the copper, you know, really pops, you know, on here, which helps with the design, right? Okay, so let's go ahead. We're gonna put our other pieces together as well. As you put down your layers, you just want to pay attention, you know, to placement. So you want to make sure you line up your pieces as best as you can, because your eye will notice that. Okay, that looks good. Now let's take this one. I think this would be beautiful with the dashing deer. I think that'll be the next one I create and share. So if you, hopefully you don't only subscribe to my YouTube, hopefully you also subscribe to my blog and my Facebook page, so you can catch any additional projects that I do not do video tutorials on. You can find links to my blog as well as my Facebook page in the description of the video. Also my Instagram account. I always share everything there as well. Okay, so now we pretty much have most of our card put together. It's already looking beautiful. Let's now go ahead and do that last bit of stamping. So I have pre-stamped and just fussy cut out the tree. This is the tree that's going to go on the front of the Z here, but we also need to do our sentiment and our tree here. So I'm going to start by stamping the tree so that I know where, you know, for placement purposes. And I'm going to hopefully get this down as close as I can to my original. Of course, the original off camera always comes out perfect. And then you get on camera and you wonder, what just happened? All right, so I'm going to lay that down right there. I'm going to give that a nice press. Now I inked this up in the shaded spruce, which is a beautiful green for holiday cards if you have not seen it yet. Gorgeous. Now we'll do some of the fun part, which is embossing. So okay, let me close up this spruce before I get my hands in it. And then we are using the sentiment, sending a blizzard of wishes for a wonderful season. And then as you can see on my original, my sentiment is coming out here. I'm going to try to tuck it in a little further just to see how that works. I wasn't too concerned with it showing because it's still such a, you know, it's a beautiful design and card, and I loved the placement of it being close to the tree, but just so you can see the difference. I know some people's preference is not to see anything there. So that if that's the case, let's see if this fits. We'll give it a try on video and see. So I'm going to take my embossing buddy and I'm going to rub that over my paper. That's going to eliminate the static. So our embossing powder sticks to just what it needs to. This is my Versamark here. We're going to ink up our stamp very well. And then I might have to pull this a little closer for myself. And then we're going to tuck it over here. I'm going to give that a nice press because I want to be sure I get a nice, good emboss. That sticky sound makes me happy. Now I'm going to take our copper emboss powder and pour that over. Embossing is truly one of my favorite things to do. I absolutely love it. All right, I'm going to pour some more. Give that a nice tap. Looks beautiful. I see a little tiny spot, so I'm going to try to get in here with my brush and just move that. Yep, it came right off. Very good. Okay, let's put our embossing powder back. Love our grid paper to catch all that mess. And then we'll stick this right back in our container. The emboss powder is such a great value because it will last a really long time. I do a lot of embossing, and I have yet to have replaced. I think the only one I've replaced is my clear, so that's pretty good. All right, so I'm going to have my heat tool here. I'm going to put it on high, and we are going to emboss our sentiment. So hopefully you can see that beautiful copper. I think that's such a lovely shade with this green. All right, now we can go ahead and continue on with our card. So we'll add our adhesive, make sure that's cool. Usually cools off pretty quickly. Add my adhesive to my layer here. Whoops, I almost forgot my DSP. Oh, that would have been awful. Okay, let's add that here to our DSP. Let's give that a nice press. And now put this down. Okay. All right, and again, I'm just paying attention to my corner over here to make sure everything aligns properly. Oh, much better. It worked. Okay, so you can see now that my sentiment is tucked back behind there. So that actually worked out perfect. Okay, so for adhering our other Z part, I am going to lay this here, and I'm just going to put my finger so I know that my adhesive needs to be lower than that. Okay, and I am just going to line this up. Okay, and then this time I can put my adhesive here on the other edge of my Z. I think I'm going to put some a little closer here to this edge. All right, and then we can go ahead and close this up and give that a nice press. Lovely. All right, so now we're going to cover our tree. So again, I'm just going to put adhesive here on the lower part of my tree, and hopefully I can see. Yeah, let's give that a nice press. Beautiful. And now we will bring in our, these are actually gold, but it works perfectly with the copper. And we are going to add a bunch of these now to our tree. So I'm going to do one right up top. And then I'm going to add a bunch to our center of our snowflakes in this tree. And that just really, whoops, I'm losing them. That just really kind of finishes it off, I think. I would absolutely love to receive a card like this in the mail for Christmas. I think it's gorgeous. I think your receiver would feel very special receiving a card like this. And that just makes me happy. All right, so let me grab a couple more. I think I'm going to put one more over here in this corner on this one. just like that. I love it! So there is our beautiful double Z card. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. I hope you try out this technique. As always, you can find a full supply list of all of the products used in today's video in the description on YouTube. And like I said, guys, I look forward to being back with you real soon, and I would love for you to contact me if you do not already have a demonstrator and would like a new catalog. Our new occasions catalog is coming out in early January, so we'll be able to mail those here very soon. So just send me a quick email. You can find my email address in the description as well, and I'd be happy to send one of those out to you. Thanks again, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.